From Paulsboro High School, Comcast Cable Sports presents the NJSIAA Group 1 Semifinals. Today, the Thundering Herd of Woodbury High School visiting the Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Shryock along with Shawn Leary from Paulsboro. Two storied rivals going each other today for the right to go to the Group 1 final, Shawn.
Yeah, this is a tremendous tradition here. You see Glenn Howard there, 194 wins, only 34 losses during his incredible career, getting the troops pumped up as well he should. And I don't think either of the coaches really need to get the team excited about a game, not only in the playoffs, but also the matchup between Paulsboro and Woodbury, two programs that are right down the street from one another and rich in tradition, both of them excited about today's game. The wind, not really as bad as it was yesterday, so the weather shouldn't play a factor, Bob, but it should be an exciting game with plenty of big plays. You have a lot of talented athletes on the field today.
Second time these teams have met this season. Paulsboro winning the first. Bundy kicking off. And the ball gets past the deep man. And good coverage by Woodbury. Return by Gerald Hodges, and Paulsboro with the first possession of the football game.
Yeah, one of the rare occurrences you're going to see is a quarterback, especially at this time of the year, returning kicks. But Gerald Hodges, such a dangerous runner in the open field. He's blossomed into a big-time threat, not only with his legs and being able to run the football, but he's got a terrific arm, has really focused and improved in his passing game. Certainly going to be needed here today against a pretty tough Woodbury defense, who has had one of the top defensive lines in the Colonial Conference this year.
High formation behind Hodges. First and 10 from the 18. The ball is loose on the first carry, and Paulsboro, or Woodbury, thinks it has their
Yes, they do.
recovery. So a big turnover to start the football game on the first offensive play for Paulsboro, and Woodbury has deep possession in Paulsboro territory at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think the ball carrier ever actually got the ball. Mike Lavin looked like he was the one that picked it up, 5'9", 155-pound junior. The first mistake in the game goes against Paulsboro and sets up Woodbury in perfect field position. I don't think that center exchange. I think the quarterback did not even get the ball to his running back at all. We don't have a replay here today.
Dante Harvey back in the quarterback for Woodbury after missing a couple games with injury. The handoff to Bundy. Bundy looking for room, has very little, and will be stopped after about a 1-yard pickup for Woodbury.
Real important now with the short field for Woodbury to strike. You talk to Coach Valentine and Coach Howard, and they'll tell you every single big game, as most coaches will, when you get the opportunity to score against a good defense, you have to be able to capitalize.
Second down and 9, the ball at the 15-yard line.
Woodbury's going to try and get Shawnee Kersey in isolation, one-on-one with the corner. They like to run the fade pattern to him at this section of the field.
Couple-yard pickup for Harvey into the center of the Paulsboro line to about the 11-yard line. It'll be third down for Woodbury and about 5 for a first down.
Real quick, Bob, Harvey comes back into the game after the sophomore Purnell came in last week to start. Harvey was a little banged up, had a problem with his ankle, didn't feel like he was 100% with this offense. A lot of motion. They needed him to be able to be mobile. He wasn't good enough last week, but Woodbury was still able to win the game. There you see Bundy, Jackson, Kersey, Gibson, and Shawnee Kersey, the 6'2", 180-pound wide receiver, starting.
A reception for Woodbury looks like for a first down. The ball looked like it was tipped.
Oh yeah, it looked like, I don't know if that was Cooley Gilchrist out there, but one of the Paulsboro Red Raiders had the ball go just over top of his hands. A perfect placement for Harvey. Good concentration by the receiver to pick up the first down. Woodbury now looks like at about the 3 to 4 yard line. Again, not afraid to go to the air with Harvey. He's had a nice year. And they have, of course, the backup sophomore who made an impact last week.
First down goal at the 4-yard line. The pitch to Jackson. And Jackson run down at about the 4. No gain on the play. Second down and goal.
Took down by Gary Grimes, number 84 on the backside. He's got good speed, very difficult to run against Paulsboro on the outside. There you see the 52 defense of the Red Raiders with Carter Sargent, Gilchrist, Doak, and Grimes on the outside. Maurice Lee and Zach Greenwald will fill in the linebacker spots. Two good sophomores. You have the secondary with Stephon Archie, Gerald Hodges, Rashard Braxton, and Kevin Johnson. A real good-looking secondary led by the two seniors.
Bundy blown back behind Harvey. Reverse inside to about the 2-yard line.
Not much space inside with that Paulsboro defense. Corey Gilchrist, who fills up a lot of that middle, comes into the game along with Grimes.
Thomas Kersey with the carries. The ball at the 2, third down and goal for Woodbury. Woodbury trying to capitalize on a turnover in the first offensive play for Paulsboro.
Some of these guys come in here at this point of the year with some little nicks and pains, but everyone back into the starting lineup, including Harvey.
Penalty flag
on the play.
Paulsboro thinks it's against Woodbury, and they'll back up.
We got neutral zone infraction on the offense.
Larry David making the call. That'll make it third down and goal from the 7. It's a bad penalty at that spot, son.
You don't want to ever see a penalty at the 2-yard line. I mean, if you're going to pass on this down, it might open things up in the middle of the field a little bit. There you see Woodbury 2-1 away from home. Paulsboro 4-0 here on this field.
Harvey at quarterback, third down and goal from the 7. Rolling right, Hesselman fires it, touch. He hung on, it's touchdown Woodbury. Woodbury jumping on top, 6-0 on the touchdown pass. Thomas Kersey with 8:22 to play in the first quarter. Woodbury 6, Paulsboro nothing, and they do capitalize on the penalty.
Yeah, Thomas Kersey does a nice job on the rollout with Harvey. Just finds an open space where he's able to get open behind the linebackers and gives Woodbury an early lead here. Something I don't think this crowd, this sidelines here on Paulsboro are expected to say, make a mistake the way they did on the first play from scrimmage and allow Woodbury a lead. It hasn't happened often with this program in the NJSI tournament. They're used to holding the lead, getting a lead and holding on.
Woodbury burns a penalty. They'll talk about the extra point. The kicker is Brian Bundy out of the hole of Sheldon Jackson. So just 3 minutes and 38 seconds into the football game, Bob, Woodbury strikes first.
Bob, with that play, even though they get the penalty there and they lose the 5 yards, that gives them a little bit more space to work with instead of Paulsboro being all bunched up. Gives you a little bit of room. Not that they wanted the penalty to happen, but sometimes in that spot, especially with the play call that you may have, if you were deciding to roll out, that little bit of room may help you sometimes. There's the 5 plays, 16 yards, 3 minutes and 23 seconds. The Thomas Kersey touchdown reception from Harvey, 7 yards. And Bundy on for the extra point.
So they're ready to go. Jackson with the hold. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good. Line drive kick for the extra point by Bundy. And Woodbury jumps on top 7-0.
This Paulsboro team, Bob, really believes that they can play with Paulsboro. The Thundering Herd, they have you see that even though Paulsboro has won 18 out of its last 20 games, leads this series 47-39 and 3 ties. But Woodbury really believes that it has the weapons. It's strong enough up front. if they're able to hang in there and play tight defense, don't allow the big gainers, and control Hodges, they believe that they can play with this Paulsboro team. Although these teams played a couple of weeks ago and Woodbury was able to, Paulsboro able to handle Woodbury. It was Gerald Hodges who did a lot of the damage. There you see the, you see something, but we'll bring it back up for you.
This series started in 1911, Shawn. Do you remember the first game?
No, I don't. No, that was a couple years before I was born.
They've had all kinds of strange scores in this series. 1-0, 2-0. Got a forfeit 1 year. Bundy kicking off.
There you see the leading scorers for each team. James Bundy, 9 touchdowns, had a terrific week last week in its win against Gloucester. Shawnee Kersey, 7 touchdowns. Gerald Hodges, the man behind center for Paulsboro. And Stefan Archie, the transfer from West Deptford, who gives Paulsboro another threat at running back.
Archie with the return from Paulsboro. Bouncing kick again, and it pays off for Woodbury. Again, they pin Paulsboro somewhat deep at about the 26-yard line. So Paulsboro will start its second possession of the football game. They fumbled on the first play on their first possession.
We get a chance to see West Deptford in the playoffs over the last couple of years, and there you see Paulsboro's defense with Corey Gilchrist. We've already talked about him a couple times. Jerry Cosgrove, a good offensive guard, along with David Doak. They have the running backs with Archie, the fullback Darren Carter. Darius Calls, a big wide receiver and big target over the middle. Might have another fumble, Bob.
Ball loose again.
Wow. Woodbury has recovered the ball again.
Another one?
Still fighting for the ball. It might have been one of those simultaneous. They gave it to Woodbury.
Woodbury gets it. That's 2 plays and 2 fumbles lost for Paulsboro. That's unbelievable.
The guy who has the nose for the football had a defensive touchdown last week. Dyshawn Davis comes up with the ball. And this Paulsboro is stunned by what's going on here.
Ball at the 29-yard line, first down and 10. I don't think I've ever seen a Paulsboro team do that, Shawn, twice in 2 plays to start the game.
There you see the last meeting between those two teams a couple of weeks ago. 27-7 victory with Hodges doing all the damage, but right now the damage being done by the Woodbury offense, committing too many turnovers.
Harvey trying to find Kersey, the touchdown maker, incompleted, second down.
And the sophomore in coverage, Kevin Johnson, who's a really good basketball player as well, plays the point guard during the winter, 5'8", 160 pounds. Also the reserve quarterback.
Second
wait a
down
couple of years for his turn.
10 for the Thundering Herd. 7:49 to play. First quarter, 7-0 Woodbury, and the Thundering Herd deep into Paulsboro territory again. Bundy straight up the middle, breaks 1 tackle, fights for additional yardage, and he's close to a first down at about the 19.
Yeah, he almost had the ball stripped out of his hands as well, and Paulsboro trying to retaliate with a turnover of its own, but Bundy doing a nice job of reaching back and securing the football. Bundy had a terrific game last week. Although Woodbury has a lot of weapons, they used Bundy predominantly most of the game against Gloucester. But this is a team that can mix it up with Thomas Kersey, Sheldon Jackson. You have Shawnee Kersey out at the split end, and they can throw over top with him. They'll take a couple chances. Again, they're going to try and get man-on-man coverage with him. This is a good spot where they like to go to Kersey. He has Kevin Johnson, 5'8", who's on him right now.
Penalty. This play will come back. Bundy gets the first down a lot more, but I think there was movement on the left end.
But it's got to be encouraging for Woodbury up front.
So the first down run by Bundy is called back. And that'll make it 3rd down and 6 instead of 3rd down and 1. Big penalty there. The last time that happened, Woodbury scored in the next play.
Got to be encouraging for Woodbury right now. The offensive line doing a nice job against Paulsboro's defensive front. And this is a Woodbury line that probably hasn't received as much recognition as it has over its counterparts over the years. But Robert Baldwin, Ryan Bundy, the young freshman, Larry Gaines.
3rd down and 6 for Woodbury. The spot right at the 25.
This is going to make it 3rd and 11. So although Woodbury forces a turnover, now making some mistakes of its own, and I heard you talked about being able to capitalize.
We have a false start on the offense.
So back-to-back penalties hurts Woodbury. It's going to be 3rd down and 11.
That brings up 3rd and 11 for the Thundering Herd at the Red Raiders 30-yard line.
Forced
Both
to go
teams
to the air.
mistake prone here early in the first period.
Forced to go to the air now. They have a couple of good ones, including Purnell, who comes into the game, who's, you see the penalties there. Purnell, who is the backup quarterback, splits out wide.
And down, deep drop, and big rush. The ball is loose. Now Paulsboro has it.
Fumble picked up by David Doak. They brought some pressure on Harvey. Instead of tucking it away, looks like he was trying to get it out of there, and Doak able to pick it up.
Doak is senior linebacker with the pickup, and Paulsboro takes over in its own 43-yard line. 3 turnovers in the first half of the first period. Not a pretty start to this NJSIAA semifinal. Let's see if Paulsboro can run a play without a fumble, Sean.
This is a kid, Doak, that really studies the game, knows exactly where to be, really knows his assignments, and able to jump on a ball where really Woodbury not able to take advantage of a golden opportunity. They've already capitalized once, weren't able to do so again now. Paulsboro offense back on the field, and you have to believe that Paulsboro is going to be able to move the football at times during this Woodbury team. Still plenty of time, 6:05 here in the first quarter.
1-yard pickup, 2nd down and 9. Ball at the 44-yard line. The ball carrier was Gaines.
There you see Zach Valentine, the coach of Woodbury, hollering out some instructions.
Gaines again, cuts back inside. Kaiser's here. Good job. He'll be close to the 1st down. Nice run by Marcus Gaines, a junior.
Gets a nice block on the outside by Darius Quarles, one of the more gifted basketball players in the area. 6'5", 175-pound sophomore. Picks up a key block. They're going to have the timeout. This is going to bring up 3rd and short. This isn't good enough for 1st down. At least we're
short of 1st down. They're going to measure anyway. 8-yard pickup on the play by Marcus Gaines. 5:29 to play in the first period. About a half a yard. 3rd down call coming up for the Red Raiders. Good crowd on hand for this tournament semifinal. The teams met earlier on this field, and Paulsboro won 27-7.
This is where Kwan Gibson and Adrian Bell have to dig in. 2 big and thick defensive tackles for Woodbury.
3rd down call coming up for the Red Raiders. Hodges keeps the ball, and behind that great offensive line, piles ahead for about 5 yards for the 1st down to about the 43-yard line.
They just go with a quick snap there where Hodges just comes to the center with his teammates. They drop down, just taps the center on the backside, snaps it, and throws that big frame of his forward for the 1st down. Hodges is a big kid at 6'3", 215 pounds. That's an easy number to call when you have a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd and short situation.
Carter with the carry gets down to about the 40. Pick up about 3 on the play.
5, James Bundy. Brings up second.
Bundy with the tackle for Woodbury. Second down and 7 for the Red Raiders.
A lot of good bloodlines in this game, Bob. You have James Bundy, the younger son of Jimmer Bundy. You have Darren Carter, whose older brother Russell was a terrific basketball player here, went on to play at Notre Dame.
Gaines finds the seam and gets it down to about the 30 for another Red Raider first down.
What I like about Gaines is, you know, he's got good field vision, but he gets lost behind those big offensive linemen. He doesn't have great size, only being 5'7", 155 pounds, but he's not afraid to go into the middle of the field, and he just kind of gets lost in there. He has good ability to cut to the outside, so they really like him behind Darren Carter, the fullback, and being able to pick up good yardage on first down.
Hodges keeps it, stutter stepping his way, still on his feet. Great run by Hodges to about the 16 for another Red Raider first down.
You can see the strength of that young man. Breaking out of the tackle of Purnell is not able to drag him down, and you can't with one arm. This is a big, strong kid. Came into his own. Paulsboro, beginning of last season, really didn't know who the quarterback was going to be. No one was really making enough progress during the preseason. Hodges developed quickly, and by the end of the year, a lot of people were talking about number 5 becoming one of the top quarterbacks in the Colonial Conference and in South Jersey. This is a good junior quarterback.
Gaines with the carry. Gaines makes significant yardage down to about the 12. Pick up a 4 in the play. Second down, 6 for the Red Raiders.
Really concerned about what Hodges was going to be able to do was the Woodbury coaching staff. This is a guy who scored 4 touchdowns in the meeting before against these two teams. They really didn't have an answer for him. And, it's not something where he just kept on destroying them all game. As they made mistakes tackling Hodges and wrapping up, and the guy's a slippery guy, but also strong. They can break through tackles. Right up in there, Gibson wraps him up.
Spotted about the 12-yard line. No gain on the play. It'll be third down and actually about 7 now for Paul.
Not a lot of room with Karan Gibson there. 5'10", 270-pound freshman. Plays fullback and also nose guard. Swallows the ball carrier there. Now brings up a third. Looks like about 6 or 7, Bob.
Gaines and Carter, the backs behind Hodges on third down and 7. Hodges the throw. Runs out of the pocket. Still on his feet. He'll be short of the first down, but picks up a couple on the play. Inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. So he'll bring up a big fourth down call for the Red Raiders. They have a kicker who can kick a field goal easily from that distance.
Yeah, Palomini can get it through the uprights at this distance, but they might want to decide to go for it here. But how about the Brian Bundy? They're going to call a timeout and think about this one. Brian Bundy, a little bit of indecision there coming off the defensive end, but that's what Hodges will do. He'll freeze you because you want to contain him to the inside, but he's so quick and strong. If he breaks through, you're afraid this guy's either going to be able to run around you, get to the outside, cut back to the inside. So many different things he can cause problems to a defense. So you see the Thundering Herd, they won 26-21 last week against Gloucester, and a terrific matchup, Bob. We had that game here on Comcast, and Gloucester showed a lot of grit in that game coming back. Leon Harris, great game plan.
Yeah. So the most significant early call in this football game, fourth down and about 3, the ball at the 9-yard line. Big call for the Red Raiders.
And Paulsboro won 21-6 last week against Pennsgrove in a game right here. Paulsboro, the 2nd seed. Pennsgrove, the 7th seed. Pennsgrove giving Paulsboro a nice little run. The probably score doesn't indicate how Paulsboro did in the game. They struggled a little bit in the first half, but eventually pulled away.
Hodges fires it, has his man. He'll be short of the goal line, but he'll have the first down. Good catch by Carter for the first down. Call at about the 1 yard line. Good fourth down call. Gets Paulsboro in position to score with 4 downs at the 1 yard line.
DC, they call him here for Paulsboro.
No foul on the play.
Darren Carter just comes out of the backfield, the fullback with pretty good hands. He
At the Woodbury 2 yard line.
This is a guy that does all the dirty work for his team. Had a terrific game on Comcast earlier in the year. The first game we had on Comcast against Sterling.
First down and goal at the 1. Hodges into the end zone for the touchdown. It was Braxton, and it's 7-6 Woodbury on Braxton's 1 yard TD carry.
Good blocking on the left side of that line behind Gilchrist. The junior, 6'3", 230, paves the way for Braxton to get into the end zone. Now Paulsboro with a chance to tie it up. So taking advantage of the Woodbury turnover, retaliating.
Palomini will try to make it 7-7. Nice snap. And the kick was good. We have a 7-7 tie at the 1:22 mark of the first period. Good drive by Paulsboro after those giveaway fumbles on his first 2 possessions. They come right back with a great drive to tie it at 7.
And it starts with the pressure that they put on Harvey, forcing the turnover. That's one of the things that I think concerned Woodbury to start the game, was the pressure that Paulsboro would bring against Harvey on a kind of a gimpy leg.
Sean, Paulsboro was coming into this game 9-0, but actually they came in 7-2. A lot of developments this week.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they had a player who was ruled ineligible, an honest mistake committed by the Paulsboro staff, who reported on themselves that they had the ineligible player. And this is a kid who went to Gloucester County Christian. His hometown is Paulsboro. And usually in the NJSIA, if your school does not have a football team, you're allowed to play for the hometown that you live in. That goes for other sports as well. But what happens is when you're a Christian school, that doesn't apply for the NJSIA, and that's the reason for Paulsboro forfeiting 2 of its games, one against Haddon Heights, the other against Gateway. Nonetheless, they find themselves in the semifinals here against Woodbury. That does give them two losses on the year, although not beat on the scoreboard.
Grimes kicking off for Paulsboro, deep for Woodbury. Shawnee Kersey and Bundy. Good high kick. Great hang time. Taking it about the 18-yard line by Kersey. Kersey will be dropped right about the 19. Good coverage by Paulsboro. And Woodbury will take possession. About a minute 15 to go in the first period.
There you see Woodbury with the 213 yards 213 points this season against the 116 that they've allowed. And talking about the special teams for Paulsboro, maybe an advantage there goes to the Red Raiders, like it usually does at this point in the season. Dominic Antonini has done an excellent job down here, not only with Paulsboro, but with other area kickers. They have something called the Breakfast Club that they work on during the summer months, and just really work on guys being able to kick. It's helped so many young kickers in our area here in Gloucester County, including many Paulsboro kickers, including
that was Bundy with the carry for Woodbury. Picked up about 5 yards, second down and 5. The ball at the 25-yard line. 55 seconds to play in the first quarter. 7-7 tie. Turnover setting up both scores in this football game.
Nothing.
Mix up in the backfield there. I think no gain for Harvey. As a matter of fact, they lost a yard on the play. It'll be third down and about 6.
And the Thundering Herd at the road 25-yard line.
15 seconds in the period with the clock running. They made us let the clock run out here. Seconds. So this is going to do it for the first period unless they hustle to get this play off. And they won't. That'll do it for one period from Paulsboro High School. NJSIAA semifinals. Paulsboro 7 and Woodbury 7. First play of the second quarter coming up, 3rd down and 5 for Woodbury. Swing pass to Jackson. Jackson looking for some room and dives for what could be the first down. Good second effort by Jackson.
Yeah, great effort by Jackson. This is a kid with real good hands that's blossomed over the last couple of weeks. He had a couple of nice catches against the Gloucester defense last week. Also, one of the touchdowns in last week's game.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for Woodbury. Harvey with the keeper, he'll go down for a loss. The tackle Darren Carter for Paulsboro. That play will lose about a yard and make it 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, Carter dishing out a punishing hit on Harvey. And these teams both with excellent defenses, but they'll punish you as well. Try to force that ball out. We've already seen 2 turnovers for Paulsboro, 1 for Woodbury, as Bob mentioned, setting up both touchdowns.
Second down and 11. The handoff to the big freshman fullback who gets some yardage inside, Corin Gibson. And he'll pick up about 4 in the play and make it 3rd down and 7.
Well, he's a
3rd down and 6.
Nice looking freshman. One of the things you got to do is just work on that footwork coming through the line. And once you get that big body moving, if you're able to try and get some moves and cut, then he's going to be tough to bring down for the Colonial opponents.
Another 3rd down call coming up for Woodbury. 3rd down and about 6, ball at the 34-yard line. Rolling right. He'll keep the football and he'll have the first down. So another 3rd down conversion for Woodbury. Good job by the quarterback Dante Harvey. It'll be 1st down and 10, Thundering Herd. The ball at the 43-yard line.
What they're going to do on that play is take one of the receivers and clear him out about 10 yards past the 1st down marker. That's going to keep the defensive backs away from that 1st down yardage, and that allows Harvey to be able to get to the sticks and beyond for the 1st down, allowing him to run. That if the corners come up and bite on the play, then he's got the receiver open. If not, he's able to take off and run with a good play call by Coach Valentine in that 3rd and 6 situation.
1st down and 10. Penalty marker down. Kersey with the carry for Woodbury. Gets some pretty good yardage. However, we'll look at this foul.
Yeah, it's one we saw last week that Woodbury is prone to making mistakes and picking up some penalties against teams like Gloucester. You might be able to come back with it. No offense to Gloucester, but against Paulsboro, it's a totally different story.
Have illegal motion, offense, 2 men moving same time.
So this will make it a 1st and 15 call for Woodbury.
This is already a very stingy defense. When you continue to back yourself up, you're going to have all kinds of problems. There you see Coach Glenn Howard, one of the great minds in not only South Jersey, in the entire state of New Jersey when it comes to this sport.
His winning percentages are remarkable, Sean.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
94 and 34.
1st and 15.
1st and 15 Woodbury.
39-yard line.
Harvey with the pitch. Jackson trying to get to the outside and beats one tackler.
Looked like it was Hodges and also Inky Mears forcing him out of bounds. So he was able to pick up a few yards on the play, but
got 6. It'll make it 2nd down and 9. Ball at the 46-yard line. Not a bad day for a tournament football game. Not a lot of wind today. Rather pleasant. Second and 9 call coming up for Harvey and company. Bundy gets only a couple to the 48-yard line. So still another 3rd down call coming up for Woodbury. They've converted on the last 2.
not much room there as the sophomore makes the calls on defense. See 3rd down conversions for Woodbury, 3 or 4. Paulsboro 1 of 2. Zach Greenwald comes up, makes a play. He's one of them sophomores, not only in football but also in wrestling. One of the most athletic sophomores in South Jersey is number 43.
Another 3rd down call for the Thundering Herd. Thinks about going deep. Now we'll keep the football. He'll go down, tackled from behind, and a good defensive play by Paul. 51. No 51 in our roster.
That's Robert Sargent. Might have grabbed him around the ankles, and that's not the place where Harvey wants to be tackled. After coming off the injury, you get pulled down around your ankle. It's not going to feel good. He goes to the sideline. Talks with Coach Valentine as they bring the punt unit on.
Hodges, the quarterback, also the deep man on punts for Paulsboro, back at about his own 24-yard line.
Woodbury going to do its best to keep the ball away from him.
Not a bad punt at all. It'll go out of bounds. At about the 22-yard line.
That's Dominic Antonini down there pointing. I don't think Paulsboro got a good spot. That ball going out of bounds. There you see the Paulsboro Red Raiders starting offense. We already talked about a couple of these guys. Denzel Phillips in the middle, 6 foot 250-pound junior center, along with Kevin Gutowski. Archie Qualls and Carter back there, but Amir Love and Gary Grimes, a nice tight end who replaces a real good one in Alex Silvestro. Silvestro, a defensive end tight end who anchored both sides of the line along with Demetrius Hester over the last 2 years.
Hodges keeping the football, pretty good yardage out close to the 30.
Hester was in the middle of that defensive line as a defensive tackle. He went to Delaware. Silvestro at Rutgers. There you see the starting defense with Bundy and Baldwin, the defensive ends. Gibson and Bell, 530 pounds of defensive tackle there. Bundy, Kersey, and Lavin make up the 4-3 defense with Shawnee Kersey, Sheldon Jackson, Dante Harvey, and Dyshawn Davis. We talked about Paulsboro's secondary. Woodbury, not too bad either. A terrific secondary for both teams.
Gaines with a carry. Gaines still on his feet.
Good hard run.
Tackles. Knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets the 1st down for the Red Raiders. That'll move the stakes to the 31-yard line.
Archie coming into the game with an even 500 yards on the ground, 71 carries. You see the Paulsboro offense has produced 199 yards, only 47 allowed.
1st and 10, ball at the 36.
At the asterisks, telling us about the forfeit points, without the forfeit points.
Not much room for Carter on the carry.
That's what they did on the field this year.
Carter gets about a yard, about 2. Will be 2nd down and 8 for the Red Raiders with 6:25 to play. 2nd quarter, 7-7 tie. Woodbury struck first after recovering a Paulsboro fumble. Then Paulsboro returned to favor.
Now, Woodbury has to force Paulsboro in second and third and long situations, and that's going to result in them, that front four, doing a nice job at the point of attack.
Archie with the carry, not a lot of room for him. He'll be dropped at about the 41. So that'll bring up a third down conversion try for the Red Raiders.
That's a good spot. You see Archie there, and he's become a strong runner. A senior here, 5'8", 180 pounds. An excellent career. 5 touchdowns this year.
So it'll be third down and 6 for Paulsboro. The clock running with 5:35 to play in the half.
He's an average of 7 yards per carry this season.
Third down call for the Red Raiders. Hodges hits from behind, throws it out on the intended receiver on the play with Quarles. Will be incomplete and force a punt.
Good pressure on the backside by Baldwin. Maybe Hodges hearing some of the footsteps behind him, throws up all over his intended target. You see Hodges there.
Gary Grimes kicking to a dangerous return guy, Sean.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Shawnee Kersey, we talked about Hodges being a terrific open field runner, where Shawnee Kersey might be one of the better ones in the state. And this is a guy who's being looked at. He's Division I prospect. Rutgers is one of the teams interested in this 6'2" speed bump.
Big rush. Grimes gets it off. Kersey takes it on the run. Has a little bit of running room, trying to get to the outside. He's dangerous. Cut that ball on the run. Normally you want to got a fair catch in a situation like that, but he's not your average return guy.
No, he's.
And he gives Woodbury very good field position at about the right about midfield.
I would expect Woodbury to maybe try and go up top, get him in that one-on-one coverage and give him a couple of shots downfield to make a play. That's where he's hurt so many teams over the last 2 seasons, by stretching the field, getting down the sideline, using that height and that leaping ability. 6'2", so he usually is going up against a smaller cornerback. This time lining up against this familiar foe of Stefan Archie, giving up 4 inches there.
Straight ahead, good running room for Bundy. And Bundy will get about 7 on the play into Paulsboro territory. Well, Woodbury moving the ball very well against this vaunted Paulsboro defense.
There you see the difference in points over his career as a coach. 5,894 points scored under the leadership of Glenn Howard, not including today, with 2013 given up.
And Harvey slips on the play and does not gain anything. It'll be another third down call coming up for the Thundering Herd. They had third downs all this entire half, Sean. Every time they run, there's a third down call coming up.
4:09, still plenty of time for Woodbury, and of course Paulsboro, they're going to try and get the ball back here if they're able to stop Woodbury, force them into a decision on 4th down.
Another critical third down call for Woodbury. Hand off to Kersey, tries to cut it back inside, but slips and falls. Knee went down. That'll bring up a 4th down for Woodbury.
Yeah, doesn't gain anything on that play as he slips on the turf. Rained a little bit this week. So it was a little slippery last night during the West Deptford telecast, but it seems like there is some slick spots here, and they're going to punt the ball away, give it back to Paulsboro. Expect Purnell again to try and angle this ball out of bounds.
Hodges deep back at about his own 16-yard line.
Take it down!
That's exactly what he does. The ball rolled out at about the 18. Good kick by Purnell. And Paulsboro with 3:04 to play in the half has 82 yards to go for the go-ahead touchdown.
I think it's a great decision. Keep the ball away from Hodges. Put your defense on the field. Allow them to do the work. And I believe the same should be done for Paulsboro as well. Try to keep the ball out of the playmaker's hands. Anytime you can do that, you're going to do well. Anytime the Hodges or Kersey touches the ball, it's a danger for your team. Not allowing them to return the punts and the kicks, I think, is a real smart move by both head coaches.
Hodges says 3:04 to go to work with here in the first half. The pass goes deep. Looked like incidental contact. No foul was called. I think it's a pretty good call by the official. No call, Sean.
And Deshaun Davis going stride for stride with Darius Quarles so much. In fact, they got their feet tangled up. Talked about Quarles being a huge target at 6'5". Talked about the discrepancy in sizes with Kersey, but Quarles is a matchup problem for any team as well, trying to cover him. And he's really worked on his hands in the offseason. They call him Squeeze here. A kid who is he's a terrific athlete on the basketball court.
Second down and 10. The ball at the 18-yard line. Two receivers to the near side for Hodges. And they run the draw, some running room. Oh, the ball loose. Picks up, still running. Unbelievable, dribbled it twice. What a play by Gaines.
We're talking about basketball.
We just talking about basketball, weren't we?
Talking about basketball. I guess Gaines figures, watch this. I can dribble downfield as well. Good block also up front. That
was a 26-yard run on a double dribble by Carter. Or Gaines, excuse me. First down and 10, ball at the 44-yard line. Ball is elusive today.
And that might have been a touchdown if he stayed on his feet and was able to hold on to the football.
Archie has some room. And Archie makes a first down carry into Woodbury territory at the 41. 2:33 to play in the first half.
Clock will stop now as they move the chains.
Archie's best run of the first half. Got 15 on the carry. It'll be first down and 10 for the Red Raiders. Clock running 2:20 to play. Hodges, cut back. Hodges. Close to it. I think he has another first down for Paulsboro.
That's some big contact with Purnell coming up, making a hit on Hodges, but Hodges enough for another first down again, stopping the clock as well.
Ball at the 30-yard line. Now they restart the clock. Under 2 minutes in the first half. Two receivers to the near side for Hodges. And the ball carrier, Carter, gets a couple of yards. Clock's still running.
They go to the strong side of the field, and Brian Bundy tracks him down from behind. Bundy, one of the few seniors for this team, 6'3", 225, two-way starter for Woodbury. Good right defensive end. Cousins of James plays safety for this team, also the halfback.
Second down and 8. Hodges with the pitch, bad pitch.
Bad decision, yep.
And falling on the ball is Gaines. That really hurts.
Yeah, he's trying to shoot the ball out there, and he just didn't have his feet set. Not the position where you want to pitch the ball. And probably a poor decision. He probably should have just ate it there. Now he forces his team to.
Well, they were working in the field goal range. Now they're way out of field goal range.
So it looks like it's about 3rd and 20.
Ball back at the 39. 3rd down and 20. 45 seconds to play in the half. Hodges gets a big rush. And he'll go down after A gain of only a yard or two to make it 4th down. Good job by the Woodbury defense.
Paulsboro takes a timeout here.
30 seconds to play in the first half.
You see the flags. Not
Paulsboro, second timeout.
not a huge problem is the wind here today. Again, earlier yesterday morning it was blowing pretty good. Not a factor in this game, but Paulsboro calls timeout. Interesting call here at 4th down and long. You don't expect them to go for it here. You expect them to probably.
It's 4th and about 18. No. 30.7 seconds to go.
Restrooms are open, located behind the home stage. No smoking on school property.
Pretty evenly played game, Bob. A couple of mistakes by Paulsboro, but Woodbury's been able to move the ball on the Paulsboro defense. Conversely, Paulsboro able to go between the 20s pretty well. A big mistake there on that pitch, pushing them out of any possibility of a field goal attempt by Palomini here.
So Carter engages the backs behind Hodges on 4th down and 18.
This is a spot they may try and to get Quarles one-on-one against Dyshon Davis.
That'll cost them 5 more.
Only thing I can think of is maybe they're trying to draw him offside.
A false start on the offense.
4th and 23.
Maybe trying to draw him off sides to get in the possibility of Palomini's range. I don't think anywhere
I'm not sure they're in David
range.
Akers' range right now.
Yeah.
So Hodges needs a big play. Back to throw. Intended receiver was Love. It was catchable, but he couldn't come up with it. And that'll turn the ball over to Woodbury with 23.4 seconds left in the first half.
And they'll probably try to take a shot with Kersey now. Give them the ball back at about their own 42. Maybe they're able to get the ball to them. They have a couple of timeouts to work with as well. Remember, the clock is stopped with a first down.
They have great field position at 42, but only
23
time
seconds.
for about 3 or 4 plays, if that. Let's see if it's Zach Valentine, who also does a great job with this program, and see if he plays this conservatively or whether they air it out. And they brought Purnell into the game at quarterback to replace Harvey.
Well, we saw him engineer the winning drive last week with not a whole lot of time on the clock, less than 2 minutes. He was able to march that team down the field.
Purnell will keep the ball and gain a couple, but they're apparently just going to run out the clock and take it to about the 45. And no indication they're going to stop it, so that should be the last play of the first half.
Yeah, they'll be content to just go to the locker room, locked in at 7, where we started a tie game.
That'll do it. First half over at Paulsboro High School. Paulsboro 7 and Woodbury 7. Good ball game in the NJSIAA semifinals. We'll be back. Seven ties. We begin the third period. Grimes kicking off for Paulsboro. And good coverage downfield. Excellent.
Should be an exciting 24 minutes here in the second half, Bob, with both teams being knotted up at 7-all. A couple of turnovers, the difference in the first half, with Paulsboro and Woodbury both capitalizing on a couple of fumbles. Woodbury unable to capitalize on the second Paulsboro fumble with a fumble of their own. That set up the touchdown. There you see some of the stats. 112 yards for the Red Raiders on the ground. Woodbury with 58 total yards, a couple of extra first downs for Paulsboro, a couple extra penalties for Woodbury, but Only thing that matters on the scoreboard is that 7-7 score.
Big development here is Purnell starts the second half for Woodbury, replacing Dante Harvey. So we wonder if Harvey might have been injured.
And he's coming out
in the first half.
Harvey was on the field, and he's now coming out, and they might try and split him out. Maybe they're trying to go up through the air, change something. I think he's still trying to shake some things loose there. He had that ankle injury, and again, this offense really needs to have a mobile quarterback in there, and if Harvey's not feeling 95% or better, they're going to keep him out. And I can't help but think back to that one play where he kind of got pulled down by the foot there by Gilchrist and Sargent. And I really think that might have tweaked the problem that he was having over the last few weeks.
Bundy straight ahead for a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Let's remember, they don't lose too much with Purnell coming in. He's the one that engineered the comeback in the first round of the playoffs where Woodbury, right before the playoffs, excuse me, where the Woodbury was down in the game. They're able to come back and pull out the victory against Audubon. The following week, in last week's first round of the playoffs, Gloucester had taken the lead, and Purnell engineered the winning drive there. The game in which he started. So this is a kid who already has some experience, a quarterback, and some success. He's got a good arm, and he pushed Harvey for the job in the beginning of the year.
Purnell looking to throw, fires it to Jackson. Completed for the first down.
Jackson with terrific hands, and Purnell, one of the things he does real well is he rolls out of the pocket and throws on the run extremely well. He just sees the field. For a sophomore, he reads coverages pretty well. This is a kid that, as a sophomore, should have a nice career here wearing the blue and the gold for Woodbury.
1st and 10 Woodbury at the 31-yard line, just underway in the 3rd period. 7-7 tie. The winner of this one advances to meet Glassboro in the Group 1 final. Straight ahead to Bundy.
Not much room there.
Very little. About a yard.
Coming into the game, I really think they wanted to try and get Shawnee Kersey involved in the offense, the talented wide receiver. But Paulsboro kind of taking him away, but not only putting the cornerback on, but also Hodges, one of the safeties, is always keeping an eye on Kersey, kind of cheating to his side of the field. That might open up the middle of the field here in the second half for Woodbury. They're keeping their eye on number 4.
Gibson straight ahead. He'll get only about a yard to the 35. And that'll bring up yet another 3rd down for Woodbury, which is converted on a number of them today.
They look like Maurice Lee.
3rd down and 6 for the Thundering Herd. 9:15 to play 3rd period. Woodbury struck first after recovering a Paulsboro fumble, and Paulsboro returned the favor. That's where we're tied at 7-7. And now still a quarterback. And now fires it. Jackson, great open field tackle.
Yeah, you're right about
by
that.
number 2, Stefan Archie, and that forces a Woodbury punt.
Jackson and the Woodbury receivers do a nice job of usually making that first tackler miss. Good open field tackle. That's one of the things that Paulsboro works on emphatically during the offseason, is wrapping up and tackling, assuring none of the extra or the yak yards after the catch.
Purnell punting. Harvey Hodges deep for Paulsboro back at about his own 32-yard line. And he'll field this one at the 32. The moon down the right side trying to stay in bounds, but finally driven out of bounds by Matt White. And the penalty markers now, I think they're going to call White for a late hit, and the Paulsboro coach is not happy with that call.
Yeah, this looks like this could be a late hit out of bounds.
We have a dead ball personal foul on the kicking team.
I don't know if I agree with the call. I don't think he dragged him down. I think he kind of let go at the end there. kind of where he was out of bounds and kind of let go. He didn't really take him down. Hodges, though, again, making that first guy miss, slipping out of a tackle. This is a tough call to go against Woodbury at this juncture. The game just coming out of the half.
The ball at the 36-yard line of Woodbury. Paulsboro with the 1st and 10. 8:08 to play, third quarter. And the penalty really backs Woodbury out. Archie, and there's an excellent tackle by Adrian Bell.
Adrian Bell, another guy that probably doesn't get noticed as much as he should. He's a big kid, takes up a lot of space, 5'10", 260-pound junior that'll return next year along with Gibson. So those are two defensive tackles. I already talked about the size of those two guys, about 560 pounds.
Second down to 9, only a 1-yard pickup, ball at the 35-yard line. And the pitch to Gaines, and Gaines gets very little. Woodbury defense has done a good job today.
And what they're doing is just shooting the ends up and forcing everything to the inside, not allowing Paulsboro to jump to the outside. And the linebackers are filling successfully. That's put Paulsboro in some of these situations, and this is exactly where you want to put it. 3rd and long.
3rd and 8, in fact, for Paulsboro. The spot at the 34-yard line. Good football game. Hodges, straight back to throw, good protection. Fires, has a man wide open. He's at the 10, the 5, in for a touchdown. Goes Marcus Gaines, and he was missed assignment there, Sean.
Yeah, just coming out of the backfield. One where the play action went to Gaines, he shoots out, no one at home for Woodbury. And Gaines, a terrific open field runner.
That'll make it 13-7 Paulsboro, 6:40 to play in the 3rd. Meaning we'll try to make it 14. He's got a great foot. It's good, and it's 14-7 Red Raiders, and that penalty helped set up that touchdown play. That was another 3rd down conversion. Good crowd on hand for this one.
And a big one. Yeah, this is a nice crowd.
They've done a nice job with refurbishing the stadium here, too. The grassroots movement to raise some money to do that. Very successful project.
3 plays, 36 yards. Took only a minute, 28 seconds with Gaines coming out of the backfield to unlock this 7-7 tie, give Paulsboro the touchdown lead. All set up with the penalty, but also the terrific protection by the Paulsboro offensive line, giving Hodges plenty of time to find to find Gaines.
Well, Paulsboro will kick off with its first lead of the football game.
See the next opponent of one of these two teams, the head coach of Glassboro, Herb Nealio, in attendance. Taking a look at these two teams along with a couple of his assistant coaches there as well. Herb Nealio with some tremendous amount of interest in this game.
Amazing
hosting.
The height Grimes gets in his kickoffs, Sean.
He'll bring the rain. You'll see here he gets a lot of hang time out of his kicks.
Oh, that one is really
that is booted. Oh, terrific
all the
kick.
way into the end zone, and he will not run out of courage. That is a great kickoff by Grimes, and Woodbury will start from its own 20-yard line.
And Dominic Antonini does a real nice job with these kickers and the special teams units, and a successful unit. Always, when you come to the Paulsboro, you expect that kicking game. You have a disadvantage for most teams. West Effort has benefited from Antonini helping some of its young kickers. So you see Glenn Howard for Paulsboro. Both of these coaches, Bob, I've been able to get to really know both Glenn Howard and Zach Valentine through Gloucester County Times and with Comcast. get to that in just a second.
Bundy trying to get to the outside, breaks one tackle, finally hammered out of bounds, takes a big hit. But a good carry again by Bundy, who's been the workhorse today for Woodbury.
Almost gets Coach Howard, who has a little bit of giddy up in his steps. He's able to get away. But both those guys, not only are they terrific coaches, Bob, but they've also done a nice job of just being mentors for these young kids who are coming out of Paulsboro and Woodbury. And I know a lot of credit to what some of these kids say about their careers. They owe back to both of these coaches when they talk about some of the successes they now have in life, learned through being involved with football and being involved with Glenn Howard and both coaching staffs. Real good people along the sidelines for both of these schools and programs.
Second down and 3, ball at the 27-yard line. You know, keeping, gets a first down and a lot more. Across the 40 to about the 42-yard line. Good play by the sophomore quarterback, Purnell, who seems to be in there for the long hauler in the second half with Harvey being used as a receiver.
Shows some explosion, and what you like there is he made his mind up quickly. He just found his hole and shoots through it. Doesn't make a lot of decision about which one he's going to or looking downfield. Just finds an open little crease and able to pick up the first down. And a lot of people are excited about Purnell and his prospects over the next couple of years of leading this football team.
First and 10. They run a reverse with Shawnee Kersey. Kersey looking for some room, but he is down after just a couple-yard gain. Good job by the Paulsboro defense reading that play.
Absolutely. Kevin Johnson's going to make that play. He's going to force Kersey to go back into the teeth of the defense, and he does it by shedding a blocker and pushing upfield to not allow him to get to the outside. Kevin Johnson, not the biggest guy out there at 5'8", 160 pounds, a sophomore, makes a good decision in staying at home, forcing Kersey back inside. Nice job by the young cornerback.
Kersey got 3, second down and 7, spot at the 46-yard line. Purnell again, and he'll be close to the first down. Got a 3rd and 1 coming up for Woodbury.
That time Purnell does a nice job of staying patient. He allows Bundy to shoot through to come from behind him and pick up a nice block to give him a couple of extra yards.
Let's make some noise for our Red Raiders defense.
You're starting to see a lot of good play from some young football players, the sophomores and freshmen, and that's good coaching down at even the youth levels of teaching them about the game and the fundamentals of the game. Kudos goes out to those guys, all the volunteer coaches out there, all these good-looking young players, not only for both these programs, but throughout Gloucester County. This has been the problem, Bob. Huge problem for this team.
They had a 3rd and 1, they're going to have a 3rd and 6.
That dead ball encroachment on the offense.
You just can't make these mistakes
Not
when you have 3rd and
Paulsboro,
short. Yeah, Woodbury continues to do this in the second half. It has no shot to win this game. I mean, it's just inexcusable when you have a 3rd and 1 situation and somebody's, you know, just loses focus, loses concentration. That's a critical point in this game. Now 3rd and 6, going to be much more difficult to pick up this first down.
At the 47-yard line, big 3rd down call for the Thundering Herd. Purnell. It's a big rush. He gets hammered. Almost had Kersey. Not a bad toss by Purnell at all. Just over the outstretched fingertips of Kersey, and it'll be 4th down.
They're looking for his #1 target. He had some separation from the cornerback. A nice strong throw, but the rush forced. I mean, that penalty just kills you. It kills you. You go from a 3rd and 1 where you have so many options to be able to pick up the first down to now punting. And it's just of a lack of focus and a lack of concentration. You don't mind the physical mistakes from these young guys, but when they do something mentally wrong, that's the ones that really hurt you.
Hodges to receive the punt of Purnell. And he'll angle it towards out of bounds. And this will not be a long punt at all. Try to keep it away from Hodges, and While doing that, does not get a lot of distance on that kick at all.
Zach Valentine not happy with that effort by Purnell. So a couple of mistakes by Woodbury, and you can't afford mistakes, trailing 7-0 on Paulsboro's turf.
Ball at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders, who scored in the last possession. 4:14 left, 3rd period. Carter, Archie, the backs behind Hodges. 1 first down. Archie. And good pursuit by the Woodbury defense. Leading the tacklers was Ryan Bundy. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, 2nd down and 9.
The Red Raiders back their own 20-yard line.
Credit to some of these Woodbury players who play both ways, done that throughout the season. Finally getting a couple of home games over the course of their career, always playing on the road. A lot of adversity, and always need to go big red behind this field.
Hodges goes deep.
It's behind him.
Quarles got behind the defender, but the pass over his head. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Red Raiders.
Trying to squeeze that one in there to number 9. A little pressure on the backside, but he had his man open. Just poor execution by Gerald Hodges on that pass, but nice job by Qualls. Now this puts Paulsboro on a 3rd and long. This is where you want to have them. Although they did convert, you got to watch that back coming out of the backfield.
Hodges rolls left, fires it, and it's an intercepted.
Yep.
Intercepted by Dante Harvey. So the quarterback intercepts the quarterback. And Woodbury takes over in midfield. That's a 3rd Paulsboro turnover of the football game.
And they're trying to look for Quarles, who gets behind Harvey. He was open on the play, but the ball underthrown by Hodges, and now sets up Woodbury where they have a shot here at the 50-yard line. Zach Valentine has to like that break for his team. And again, it's just a matter of time before they try and go up top to Shawnee Kersey. And now, again, on Stephon Archie, gives up 6 inches to the taller.
No running room for Bundy at all. Nothing. He'll lose yardage. The tacklers, Gilchrist and Doak for Paulsboro. Big play, loss of a yard, 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 for the Thundering Herd.
3 minutes here in the 3rd quarter.
Now keeping, he'll lose yardage again to the Paulsboro defense, beginning to acquit itself. Sargent leading the tacklers for the Red Raiders. This will bring up a 3rd down and long, 3rd and 15.
Just a complete breakdown of the offensive line. Paulsboro doing a nice job after the interception, making a couple plays behind the line of scrimmage. This is what makes this program so good. Once they have the momentum shifted, they find ways to bring it back to their side. They're not a team that will fold. Once they make a mistake, they kind of thrive in that situation.
Purnell gets a big rush on the backside, gets a pass off to Bundy, but he can't hang on. It'll be incompleted and bring up another 4th down, but a big rush that time put on Purnell.
He had his cousin Brian Bundy downfield, and also Baldwin blocking. There was plenty of space for Bundy to pick up some good yardage on that screen. Good play call, just poorly executed that time by his team. But nice play call by the Woodbury coaching staff.
Let's see if Purnell can get a little longer pummel off this time. Hodges deep, single safety.
That's a good
No
punt.
opportunity for Hodge. That's a very good punt by Purnell. It gets a Woodbury bounce. It'll roll dead at the 15. Excellent job by Purnell. And Paulsboro has 85 yards to go. 1:47 left in the third. It's 14-7 Paulsboro. From a defensive contest, Shawn.
Yeah, it's with both teams, and the defenses, the offenses that they have faced have struggled all year long. This is a couple of good units. Didn't expect a real blowout game the way we've seen some years in the past, and even what transpired here a couple of weeks ago with the 28-6 victory.
Hodges keeps it.
Might be a hold
Penalty
there.
marker now.
Be hold by someone on the sideline. And
Late penalty flags too. Must have been unsportsmanlike in there somewhere.
On the play.
So 2 flags in the play. Jack David, the referee on this crew. Sorting out the multiple penalties.
We have a hold on the offense, and we have a dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Both penalties will be administered separately.
so Woodbury again, even when the other team makes a mistake. And that, I mean, you would have put Paulsboro back deep in its own territory, but then you get a personal foul after the play's over. And I can't emphasize enough, you just cannot make these many mistakes and get those flags thrown when you're playing against a team like Paulsboro. You just won't win the game. It's just, it almost becomes impossible. I don't care how much talent you have on the field. Paulsboro will make you pay.
So they march off the 15-yarder against Paulsboro.
Do the hokey pokey, you turn yourself around and come
Back to the 21.
Back to the 20.
And it's first down.
It would have been first and about 19 to where the hold was, first and 20. But now you have a situation where it's a
First down.
First down?
At the 21-yard line.
First down and 8. Now first down and 10.
no, it's
The hold was on the 18-yard line. We go back half the distance to the goal, and then we go forward 15 yards from there.
great explanation. Good explanation, but it's going to be like first and about 6. Yeah, this is if they would have went back on the hold, it would have been first and I believe like 18 or something like that. Or it would have been half the distance to the goal, so it comes back up to 15 yards. And that's why you have that situation that you have, which is about first and about 6.
So they'll move it ahead a couple more yards to the 24. I think they got it now. That'll make it first down and 2.
Pick up 8 yards on a play that never happened. That's what that comes down to.
Hodges. Oh, tremendous play from the backside by Adrian Bell of Woodbury. Great play.
Nice
Lose
job,
yardage.
He's had a good game.
Make it second down and 6 for the Red Raiders. Minute 10 to go, third period, clock running. The ball back at the 19-yard line.
Coming into the game, Joel Hodges, even with his touchdowns to interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, only sacked 5 times this year.
Hodges with the keeper. Nice shot by Hodges, close to the first down.
On the carry,
It would have been very, again with these penalties, very difficult for Paulsboro to come back from being first and 19, or first and 18, if they had just had the holding penalty. But the personal foul after the play, another mental mistake, now allows Paulsboro to pick up a first down. They keep the chains moving, keep the time moving, they hold the lead. Big mistakes by the Woodbury defense.
This is number 26, Archie with the carry. Archie goes nowhere.
On both sides of the ball, they made mistakes offensively as well with the encroachment. Should end the third quarter, Bob, here with only 13 seconds remaining, and Paulsboro with the advantage.
So Woodbury hanging tough with Paulsboro, but Paulsboro with the only score of the third period. And after 3 from Paulsboro High School in the NJSLA semifinal, Paulsboro's 14 and Woodbury 7. From Paulsboro, Hodges with a rollout right. But again, the
ball's out.
Ball's loose. And Woodbury with another recovery. That is 4 turnovers against Paulsboro. 3 fumbles lost, 1 interception. And Woodbury takes over deep into Paulsboro territory.
Wow.
It was the first play of the fourth quarter. Paulsboro leading 14-7, but that lead in jeopardy.
We have holding on the offense, decline, Woodbury ball.
Yeah, that's Lavin's second fumble recovery of the game, being in the right spot at the right time. And we talked about the mental mistakes for Woodbury. Conversely, for Paulsboro, they made a couple of mistakes by the 4 turnovers, 3 by fumble, just not securing the ball. And they've allowed Woodbury to remain in the game because of it.
Well, at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10 for Woodbury. Great opportunity for the Thundering Herd.
Harvey in the game is a wideout.
Cornell keeps the football, and he'll get good yardage down to about the 23.
Yeah, you can see that although Harvey, he could probably run straight ahead, but right into the mix and being able to cut, that's just a little bit more mobile is Purnell at this point.
Purnell got 7. It's 2nd down and 3. Ball at the 23. Bundy straight ahead. And he'll have what appears to be another first down for Woodbury. First down Woodbury, ball at the 19-yard line.
Good tough running by Bundy. That's one of the things that he's improved on this year as a senior, is his strength and his running on the inside. Picking up the extra yards has really worked out and become a better runner because of it.
1st and 10, ball at the 19, Purnell. Straight ahead to Bundy, big hole, almost broke it. Tripped up by number 20, Maurice Lee, but big yardage for Bundy nonetheless. Pickup of 9, 2nd down and 1, ball at the 10-yard line.
And give credit to this Woodbury offensive line. Zach Valentine talking about that is the reason why Woodbury's in this position, is the play of its lines. Really think a lot of credit goes to the weapons and all the senior positional players, but these linemen have really done a nice job for Woodbury. You see
Bundy over the left side will have the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal for Woodbury. I'm impressed with Woodbury today. They moved the ball well against a very, very good defense.
And a lot of these guys are underclassmen. You have a freshman playing right guard in Larry Gaines, and that's really unheard of at this caliber and this level of play, the varsity level. To have a freshman be able to start on the line and hold his own is extremely impressive. You have Baldwin, who anchors the line as a junior. Here's some young guys, they basically get their whole entire line back.
First and goal ball at the 6-yard line. Purnell. Maybe a yard. A second down and goal.
Zach Greenwald in the mix there for Paulsboro, the talented sophomore.
That's the Red Raider 5-yard line.
So the most important drive of the game for Woodbury right here. Second down and goal, ball at the 5. Bundy the back behind Purnell. Receivers to both sides. Bundy has some room, gets a couple.
Bundy on the carry.
See, when you get down to this part of the field for Paulsboro, everything gets packed in. And it's difficult to move them guys around and give Bundy enough space to be able to get through a hole and find himself in the end zone. And the reason being is you just packed in, you get Zach Greenwald and some linebackers and safeties shooting in.
So it'll be third down and goal, ball at the 2-yard line.
Could be 4-down territory as well.
Purnell. He's close. Touchdown Woodbury. The sophomore quarterback, Ryan Purnell, scores at the 8:24 mark.
There's a flag down. I think this came in after the play, though.
Dead ball foul on the defense after the touchdown.
So the touchdown will count. It's 14-13 Paulsboro. Now the all-important extra point. 8:24 to go in regulation.
Interesting to see what'll happen here. They move that ball up.
So the sophomore quarterback gets the touchdown from the 2.
They might put them in a position where they might go for 2 here. They're gonna think about it. Yes, with that unsportsmanlike or personal foul at the end of the play, it puts that ball a yard and a half closer to the goal line. Now they have the opportunity maybe to try and sneak it in with Purnell. That play just worked, or maybe run the ball up the middle.
The offensive line has been hot. Moving the ball.
And we've seen that a lot this year with teams going for 2. How many times at the end of the game, especially in the Tri-County Royal Division, where we've seen teams go for 2, go for the win instead of opting to kick the extra point and force overtime. There you see the Herd 7-2, starting off with successful wins against Collingswood and Haddon Heights. There you can see the games that they're away, the games that were at home on the right. They had the Sterling game, the Lindenwold win, and then they stumbled against West Deptford, a game which they thought they really played against West Deptford and should have won. They had the win against Haddonfield. We saw the win against, Haddonfield, and then we saw the win against Gloucester last week in the first round of the playoffs. They still have Gateway coming up. Red Raiders, the only losses. You see the 1-0 loss, that comes on the way of forfeits using an ineligible player. That goes to Gloucester County Christian School. A big win last week against Pennsgrove, the Tri-County Conference Classic Division contender, who was bounced by the Red Raiders here on this field. We have West Deptford remaining on the schedule. We'll have that game here on Comcast for you. That game will be played next week.
All right, here we go. It looks like they're going to go for 2. Penalty moving the ball halfway to the goal line, so Woodbury only has to get it a yard in. They're going to go for 2, and what they hope would be the win.
They're going to split out Kersey wide. Harvey in at tight end.
Woodbury going for the lead. Bundy straight ahead. I don't know. It's close.
No, he's not going to have it.
Does not make it. Does not make it. The interior of the Paulsboro defense does the job, stacking up Bundy. And the score stands at 14-13. The tackle made by
I believe that was Sargent. Yep.
Sargent's had a good ball game, makes a critical tackle here, and Paulsboro maintains its lead, but by only a point.
So the decision to go for 2, go for the win. Sarge comes up.
I still think it was a good call.
I do too. I think it is a good call. You're a yard and a half away. You have the momentum. It's just a nice play by Robert Sargent. Sargent's a guy. I'd like to get into the medical field, Bob, either maybe nursing, something like that. A real nice kid. Done a great job for this program. A senior, 5'10", 215 yards, making a huge play there. Stacking everything up right at the line of scrimmage, right at the point of attack.
Long way to go, 8:24, Woodbury within a point. And Bundy will kick off for the Thundering Herd to either Hodges or Archie.
And Bundy does a decent job, but he's not the guarantee also on an extra point. We saw his line drive go through the upright on the first score for Woodbury, so the decision to go for 2, not one that will be debated by many people.
Ball gets past Archie. He'll pick it up and try to bring it out, and he'll be hit deep into Paulsboro territory at about the 4-yard line. So Paulsboro with horrendous starting position after they kick off by Bundy, bounced through Archie, and he picked it up at the goal line, could only get it back to the 4.
Yeah, that kickoff by Bundy, I mean, it really shoots out of there. It'll bounce around a lot. And Archie should have been able to pick that one up. It lets him get by him. That's, again, one of those plays you make, and you just, really hurts because you know the kid's able to make the play. A lack of focus and execution forces you back within your own 5-yard line.
Problem here, Sean, is that Paulsboro just hasn't been able to hold on to the football today, and they're backed up so deep. They got to be very careful here. 1st and 10 ball at the 4-yard line. 8:15 to play. And a big play by Kersey. Great defensive play by Tom Kersey. Submarining the play. And the pickup, no gain in the play, 2nd down and 10.
He might have lost a half a yard. Nice play, knifing through the offensive line, and Thomas Kersey coming in and tripping up Archie. They spread the wide receivers out to give some more room for Archie, but Kersey, a linebacker, right outside linebacker, did a nice job.
And Paulsboro needs a big play, Sean. Keeps it, and not going very far at all. It's been I tell you, to me, the story of the game so far, regardless of the outcome, has been the Woodbury defense show. They play extremely well.
They've done well. Woodbury's played with Paulsboro. They made mistakes, as has Paulsboro with the turnovers. They've made mistakes with the penalties, Paulsboro the turnovers, and that's why we have such a tight game. Paulsboro still managing the 1-point lead. Again, we talked about special teams being possibility with the outcome. Palomini with the 2 extra points. Woodbury deciding to go for 2 to get the 2, but a huge 3rd down in this game.
It's a big one. 3rd down and 8 for Paulsboro. Hodges to throw from his own end zone. Goes deep. Throws it well over the intended receiver, and Paulsboro is going to have to punt from its own end zone. Sean, Woodbury is going to get great field position here. That kickoff by Bundy that got through Archie could be a pivotal play in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Backs Paulsboro up, and you're right, the Woodbury defense has played very well, especially in the 2nd half. Now they have an opportunity with Kersey. Now you're almost forced to kick it to him. You can't kick it out of bounds at this point, so Kersey should get an opportunity.
Grimes gets it off. Not a bad punt, but it'll take a favorable bounce for Woodbury. Woodbury is going to have great field position. Great field position at about the 28-yard line. What an opportunity for Woodbury. 6:36 to play. Woodbury with great field position. Just down by a point.
I really expected this game to be a lot tighter than what it was the first time around. Woodbury, looking at the tape, they made a couple of mistakes on Hodges, and he really made Woodbury pay in that game. This time the adjustments made by the Thundering Herd, led by a group of seniors that want this opportunity.
And now the throw has a man open, but it's double coverage on Kersey, and he can't get it.
Tried to throw in the coverage, yeah. That might have been a poor decision with Gerald Hodges and Stephon Archie on Kersey. Not a lot of room there, and the sophomore trying to make a play. Got to be careful in that situation, but you don't throw the game away. Give yourself an opportunity to at least see second down. Threw into double coverage. Luckily, the ball overshot his receiver, and the two defensive players. There you see 2 for 5 is Purnell in this game.
2nd and 10, ball at the 27-yard line. Straight ahead to Bundy. He goes, keeper by Purnell, good fake, but he'll get only about a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 9.
Again, how many times do we see this with Paulsboro? A mistake made by the team, and they respond with a nice defensive effort. Now forcing a 3rd and long for Woodbury, probably in 2-down territory. I don't think Bundy has the leg to be able to attempt the field goal from this distance. So still with that opportunity, not out of the question that they might try and still continue to keep it on the ground here, not forced to throw in the air if you are going to go for it on 4th down.
So a critical 3rd down call for the Thundering Herd, spot at the 25-yard line. Gets a big rush and can't get rid of it. Great defensive play made by number 43, Zach Greenwald, and that'll bring up a 4th down and 9 for Woodbury.
They're just trying to get rid of the ball there, and no time at all as they bring Zach Greenwald on the blitz. Number 43, a terrific speed. He's able to get right up in Purnell's face. The pressure brought on to the sophomore, not able to execute anything there. Huge play now in this game here, 4th and 9. 5:38 remaining. Woodbury trailing by a point.
Biggest play of the game so far right here. 4th down Woodbury.
Expect Purnell to roll out. Zach Greenwald realizes he's probably going to roll out to the right.
Oh, he had Kersey. It's intercepted. Intercepted off of Kersey and intercepted. Number 5 with the intercepted. That's Hodges.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to let a ball drop out. When the ball's right in your hands, Hodges probably would have been a little wiser to let the ball drop. You get the ball up where the line of scrimmage was for Woodbury, but it's just, that's just a reaction play.
Boy, turnovers have been the story of this game, Sean.
Kersey was open. Purnell just didn't have his feet in front of him set to be able to get the good pass off. Throw it behind Kersey. All he could do was try and reach back for the ball. And now Woodbury will have to ask its defense.
One more time. 5:28 to play. Paulsboro with a 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line.
What a stick by Brian
Nothing doing for Marcus Gaines. Bundy with a big play, and they'll bring up a 2nd down for the Red Raiders. Clock running, 5:10 to play. Loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11.
I left 0-9.
Good football game.
Sure is. We've seen a couple this year in the playoff round. This is no exception. And Woodbury trying to dig in here, force Paulsboro into a 3. Now, still plenty of time with 4:48 left on the clock.
We'll mix up and back for the pitch to Gaines. Gaines with some room, trying to get to the outside. Big pickup by Gaines, but he'll be short of the 1st down on the penalty marker. He's thrown late.
I think they're going to get Willie Anderson flip.
And Paulsboro. This may be against Paulsboro.
Locked on to the cornerback out there.
Holding on the offense.
push Paulsboro back. Woodbury's going to force him. Force him back, and it's going to be second and long back.
All the way back to the 7-yard line. Second down and long for the Red Raiders. With 4:22 in the clock running. Paulsboro needs a big play to get out of trouble, get the first down, move the change. Hodges dumps it out.
And there's some hard hitting going on right now. That looked like Brian Bundy cleans up, coming from the opposite side of the field. Good hustle by him. But Davis is the one that's going to come up, read that play, and slow him down. Not allow him to get up the field.
Rolls one out of bounds, too, stopping the clock. So that plays to Woodbury's favor. It'll be third down and about 14 for the Red Raiders, and Woodbury looking for another stop.
Where you got to keep an eye on Hodges. Somebody will be assigned to just watch him. This is a spot where he'll try to maybe roll out.
Hodges tries it. Intercepted by Jackson. Jackson still on his feet. And Woodbury again will have a great opportunity. The ball at the 28-yard line. That is, what, 5 turnovers against Paulsboro?
5 turnovers.
2 interceptions, 3 fumbles lost. Wow. You don't see that very often.
No, not often. And Jackson's had himself a terrific playoff round with the first round of playoffs, and then in the semifinal, Zach Valentine encouraging his players.
So Woodbury with a first and 10 at the Paulsboro 28-yard line with 3:56 to play in regulation. Plenty of time for the Thundering Herd. Straight ahead, Purnell keeping the football, still on his feet. Almost breaks a long one and gets good yardage, close to a first down, about a yard short.
They've been able to move the ball. It's when they get bogged down in the red zone where they seem to have some problems. They've also hurt themselves, as I mentioned throughout the game, is with the penalties. When they get in these short yardage situations, somebody might get a little anxious and jump. I know it's difficult too. I don't make it sound like it's the easiest thing in the world, because you want to make a play. You're thinking about the man up in front of you, and you want to get off your block and spring whoever the ball carrier is. But you got to be able to hold your position.
Second down and 2. The ball at the 20-yard line. Straight ahead to Bundy. Bundy should have the first down.
Just moving the chains now. That'll stop the clock. Looks like they should pick up the first down. It is a first down. Still plenty of time with 3 minutes remaining.
Ball at the 17-yard line. Woodbury trying to drive for what they hope would be the winning touchdown.
Still think, especially at this point on the field, that if they're able to get Kersey one-on-one, you might want to try and take a shot with him against one of the smaller corners. Get the fade pattern to let the 6'2" talented wide receiver go up and get it.
Purnell fires it over the middle. Oh, wow. Almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by Greenwald. Whoa.
Looking for Kersey over the middle of the field. That play worked in the drive. That was the winning drive for Woodbury last week. They found Kersey on the big play that allowed Woodbury to advance.
Clock stopped with 2:36 to play. Second down and 10. Ball at the 17-yard line. Bundy gets very little. The advance only to about the 14-yard line.
Ball's poked free, but not after caught him down. The field progress has been stopped. 3rd and 10. This is in the spot on the
Have
field.
illegal motion on the offense. Back moving forward before the snap.
Game of mistakes, Shawn.
So back up Woodbury.
Put 2:20 back on the clock, please.
This will take the ball from the 17-yard line, 22.
Yep, 22. It's going to be second down and about 14 for Woodbury.
The defending herd at the Red Raiders 25-yard line. 2:17 to play in the fourth quarter.
The Paulsboro defense trying to want this Woodbury drive one last time. Purnell rolling left. The big rush. Fires it. Out of bounds looking for Kersey. It'll be third down for the Thundering Herd. And don't know about Bundy's field goal range, but the kick would be a long one at this point, about 37, 38 yards.
Yeah, that might be out of his range. I don't even know if they tried at this point from this spot on the field. Still another play to work with.
2 minutes exactly to play. Great finish to a great high school football game despite the mistakes.
Let's make some noise for the Paulsboro defense.
Paulsboro in their traditional 52 defense.
Third down call, 3rd and 14. Purnell at quarterback. The sophomore gets a big rush, and it's intercepted. He tried to throw it away, and he threw an interception. Penalty marker down. Everything's happening.
Well, you know what? Paulsboro just made a huge
and
mistake.
Woodbury gets it back with a first down. Unbelievable. There's a flag down as well.
I think they tried to lateral her back, and a big mistake, because that's going to give Woodbury a first down, a change of possession.
Illegal forward pass on the offense.
Illegal forward pass.
I'm not sure what happened there. Doak had Purnell in his grasp, and as Purnell went down, he threw the ball away and it was intercepted. You got to unravel this one.
Well, if that's the case, what Paulsboro will do is they certainly won't decline it.
Illegal forward pass on the offense. Loss of down, 4th down.
Wow, 1 down to go for Woodbury.
So what they were saying is an intentional grounding, basically, and this gives them the loss of down. It's going to be 4th down, backs them up as well.
This is the play of the game, because if they don't get that first down, move the chains here, Paulsboro can run out the clock. I think Woodbury has 2 first downs remaining. Or timeouts, excuse me.
Well, but I'll tell you what, if that was an illegal forward pass, Bob, that would have been another bonehead move. I mean, you have the game basically in your grasp there, and you're trying to make an extra play with the lateral. That would have given Woodbury a first down, because they did recover the fumble. However, that doesn't matter with the penalty to Woodbury. I thought there was a receiver in the area too. I don't see how that was a legal forward pass. We'd have to look at it again. I thought Woodbury did have somebody out there that.
4th down and 20.
This is deep.
24-25 to go, so Woodbury needs a miracle play.
You better believe that members of that secondary instructed to keep a very close eye on Kersey. You expect that Woodbury will try to go to the 6'2" target.
So the ball game comes down to this play, apparently. 4th down and for Woodbury.
Stephon Archie on Kersey.
Burnell, straight back. Goes, fell down, gets the pass off. Intercepted. Intercepted by Paulsboro. They'll take over.
Raiders will take over 1st and 10.
Burnell slipped as he threw the pass. The pass was intercepted. And Paulsboro will take possession at its own 9-yard line with 1 minute, 1 second to play.
Yeah, slick field, we talked about it. Not being able to get anything underneath the throw was Purnell just trying heaves it. And that's all you can do in that situation. Kersey trying to come back for the football. The Paulsboro defense in the secondary guarding against that, able to make the interception and dodge another bullet. Paulsboro, not a game that they're going to look at and say they played extremely well, but a game that they might be able to hold on to despite 5 turnovers. You tell Paulsboro they're going to have 5 turnovers in a game against Woodbury in the playoffs, and chances are they're going to say they're going to lose that game.
I don't think Paulsboro's had 5 turnovers in many games in Glenn Howard's tenure here. I'll tell you that. They don't make a lot of mistakes. 5 is a bunch.
Just not secure in the football. A couple mistakes by Hodges made today, but this is a program that even when it makes mistakes, if you're not able to capitalize, we talked about that early, you're not able to capitalize on Paulsboro when they give you the chance to. Very difficult to win the game. The defense held when it had to.
So Paulsboro will try to avoid a mistake here in the last minute and run the clock out.
Paulsboro will be trying to tackle the football, as they say, just strip it out. Hodges.
Smart play there. Hodges straight ahead.
Paulsboro calls, Woodbury called the timeout.
I think Woodbury has 1 more. Gain of about a yard of the play, second down and 9.
Woodbury, first timeout.
That's their first. I thought they had one earlier. So they have 2 more. It's one of those games, a lot of mistakes, but nonetheless a great high school football game, Sean.
Very exciting. Time to get a semifinal that's 14-13. I don't care how you got there. It's going to be exciting. You got to give credit, like you had said earlier. 2 good defensive efforts by both teams. Paulsboro backed up a couple of times. Woodbury had good field position in the second half, and they were able to at least force Woodbury not take them the lead. They decided to go for 2 after the touchdown. And Woodbury with a goal line stand. We've seen that here before just a couple of years ago, right by that same goal line where Paulsboro was able to defeat Glassboro. Glassboro waiting the winner of this game, the Group 1 championship. That'll be played at Paulsboro, the #1 seed.
Boy, they scored on Shryock last night, 42-0. Second down and 9, but the only thing Paulsboro wants to do here is make sure it holds on to the football. Hodges will probably just keep it again. Don't they run a play? Woodbury will use.
Yeah, they go to Archie that time. I'm sure Glenn Howard in that huddle telling them to secure the football.
Timeout.
Woodbury's going to try.
Woodbury, 3rd and final timeout.
Woodbury's going to try to go for the strip. Now on 3rd down. Woodbury, 51.2 seconds remaining.
3rd down and 6 for Paulsboro. 51.2 seconds to play.
We figured we'd have some excitement here, Ron, to get these 2 teams, these 2 coaching staffs.
Woodbury played them a lot tougher the first time than the score would indicate, 27-7. They certainly played them tough today.
Yeah, they made some mistakes against Hodges, made them pay. This time the Woodbury defense playing much better. Howard hurrying off the field. Paulsboro going to snap here. yards for Archie.
So it'll be 4th down, but the clock running.
And 5 for the Red Raiders.
They're going to have Woodbury's going to have an opportunity to try to block the punt, Sean. 22 seconds.
Paulsboro will call timeout with probably about 13 to 14 seconds remaining. Should call on timeout right about
now. 12.8 seconds.
Timeout, Paulsboro.
They'll probably be sending everyone. They'll have Shawnee Kersey lined up to take the kick.
Woodbury with one chance.
Be looking for the block here. Somebody will try to sneak through. If they're not able to get it, they'll try and rest the hopes on Shawnee Kersey, one of the premier return men in South Jersey. So Woodbury. They have to like their chances if Kersey is able get his hands on the ball and find a little bit of a crease, but
Woodbury's coming.
They'll be trying to get through and block the kick.
Send 10, Grimes the punter, back at about the 1 yard line.
Paulsboro's going to want to do is block and then release downfield. You don't want to give Kersey too much room to operate. 12.8 seconds remaining. Kersey standing at the Paulsboro 47-yard line.
15 seconds back on the clock.
Whoa. Wow. That makes 27.8 seconds. They put 15 seconds back.
Yeah, 15 total.
Or 15 total, yeah.
Should read 27.
Should read 27. Wow,
No,
they're going to give him 15
27.
extra seconds. I don't even understand where that comes from.
Well, they're having a problem there because the scoreboard clock still shows 15.
Clock should read 28 seconds.
28 seconds. Question is why?
Yeah, I'm unsure. That boggles my mind is why they'd had 15 seconds. I can see the couple of seconds because I believe there would have been a delay game at the 12.6 that they had reading on the clock at one point in time, but now they added 15 extra seconds.
We want 27.8.
Higher or lower, Bob? I'm going lower. 20. Go here, 27.6.
A bizarre ending to a very interesting high school football game.
This would be interesting to find out why that much time was added on the clock. I don't think anybody up here in the booth could understand it either. Nonetheless,
here we go. Grimes the punter from the 1 yard line. 27.6 seconds to go. Gets it off. Not a long punt. Kersey tried to do something with it. He's down at the 40.
That's all right. That saves a couple of seconds. That ball was going to bounce around. Nice job by Kersey of just being able to pick it up, get down in a hurry. Now he gives at least his quarterback a chance to move the ball downfield. They're going to need probably about 25 yards to 30 yards to even think about bringing Brian Bundy up for a possible field goal attempt. They don't have timeouts, but the clock would stop if they're able to pick up a first down.
19.3 seconds, ball at the 40-yard line.
Offensive line has to do its job and give Purnell time. Some confusion in the Paulsboro defense.
Purnell is deep. Intercepted.
Hodges is going to seal the game.
Hodges with the interception. That'll wrap it up for Paulsboro. The interception coming at the 13-second mark. So a game of turnovers, fittingly, will be decided by one final turnover, Sean.
Yep, a miscommunication that time with Kersey and the sophomore quarterback, Purnell. Unsure who made the mistake. Purnell thinking long, Kersey just pulling up on a little curl route. And Hodges, the only one there to pick it off. Fitting that Hodges would end the game with the interception after he threw a couple. I'm sure he feels good about that, just moving on. He didn't have his best game. Got to give credit to the Woodbury defense, but Paulsboro will advance and get into the final to face Glassboro.
Oh, Hodges has to do here is take a knee. 13 seconds to go. That's going to do it. So Woodbury's hopes for an upset are dashed. A great high school football game coming to an end. Paulsboro 14, Woodbury 13 as the Red Raiders advance to the NJSIAA final against Glassboro in 2 weeks. And Sean, a game with a lot of twists and turns, but turnovers ultimately told the story of the football game.
Absolutely, man. Just a couple of mistakes by both teams. Woodbury in position to win it, but when Paulsboro needed to, the team rose to the occasion defensively. And not the most, you wouldn't put this on tape and say this is the way we need to play offense. So Woodbury, got to give them some credit as well. Played a good defensive game. And I just want to congratulate those seniors, those few seniors, for what they endured and not having a home stadium. Finally getting a chance to play on the home field. And they're class kids, they're good kids. Hope to see them playing some football on the next level. But congratulations to them to having a fine season here with Kersey and Harvey, Bundy's, just congratulations, because they had a tough run for 4 years, not having a home stadium. At least they're able to get a little bit at the end of the year here and have some success. But this is still a pretty young football team with Woodbury. They have the sophomore quarterback coming back next year. The entire line returns except for Bundy. So there's some gifted athletes still returning. And what we think the Thunder and Herd will be back in the playoffs again next season.
So Paulsboro survives. Final score again, Paulsboro 14, Woodbury 13. For Shawn Leary and our statistician Mark Narducci and the whole crew on Comcast that did a great job today, I'm Bob Shryock. Thanks for watching on Comcast.